Namaste. Before giving any advice or practices suggested in this video, it is always recommended that you consult with your doctor as to its suitability, especially if you suffer from any health problems or special condition. Yamajit, John Hollinsby Mayer, and Tridevi Chamunda Mandir cannot accept any responsibility for any injuries or damages incurred as a result of the exercises and meditations contained in this video. Well, namaste, and welcome to Tridevi Chamunda Mandir in Denver, Colorado. I am Yamajit, and so glad that you could join me this evening. And it looks like, Susan and April, namaste. So glad you could join me on this Tuesday night, which just happens to be my 60th birthday as well. Oh, there's Pooja, my script girl. So this evening, this is the final installment of the first chakra yoga series that I've done. This is primarily concentrated on the mat yoga. Starting next week, on Tuesdays, I'm going to be repeating the series only as adaptive and chair yoga. So that way, anybody coming onto my channel, looking for a particular practice that's suited for them, they have the choice between the regular mat yoga or chair yoga. Thank you. And Rafa, namaste as well. So yesterday I sent out the monthly temple calendar, and we've got some interesting things coming up. So this coming Friday will be another Kriya Yoga satsang and puja. The next Friday, it's the day after Mahashivaratri. And normally it's kind of become a tradition for me to do a midnight puja with everybody who's still there for Lord Yama and Ma Chamunda. Well, Shiva Sai Mandir is recommending that people join them via broadcast. And I thought on the 12th, there's that Shivaratri energy is still in the air. I'm going to do that puja for our Friday night puja. Following Friday will be another Yoga Nidra. And then the last Friday of March will be a continuation of our Kali Nitya Goddesses series. And we'll be doing the fourth of the Nitya Goddesses, Kurukula. We're going to do something a little bit different in our meditation this evening. So Friday, we did installment number 3 of the Kali Nitya series, and that was the goddess Kula. So it turns out that when we did that, Saturday was the full moon. Today is the third night after the full moon. And so this is actually Kali Kula's night. So as part of our meditation this evening, we're going to kind of do a little continuation of Friday, and I'm going to include her meditational visualization and some repetitions of her mantra. And tonight's puja will be a manasa puja. That is, we'll be doing the puja ourselves in our mind's eye. But I thought this might be the one opportunity in this series to honor one of these 15 goddesses on her actual night. And I think also very auspicious. And again, thank you everyone for your birthday greetings and wishes. So at this point, I invite you to find that comfortable seated position. Hopefully you have some props if you need them, maybe folded blankets or cushions, anything that you might need to make this process more comfortable. But just finding that comfortable position, seated with a straight back. You could even be seated in a chair. And I invite you to close your eyes and breathe deeply. Slowly. And following the breath, which is the simplest and oldest of mantras. Completely filling and emptying the lungs. Filling the belly and then the chest. On the inhalation, bringing the chest in and then the belly toward the spine on the exhalation. That way we're bringing air down even to those deepest areas of the lungs. An area where air doesn't necessarily circulate well if we're sitting in an office chair all day. So focusing on the sensation of the breath and the sound of the breath. And just letting go of the concerns of the day and the concerns of tomorrow and the concerns of yesterday. Just taking this time for ourselves. And now focusing your breath and attention on your heart center, Untitled Chakra. And taking a moment to silently connect with whichever form of the divine that you're closest to. Feeling that divine presence. Perhaps adding a visualization if that feels right. And if you would like, taking this time to think of some small aspect of your life that's ready for healing or transformation. And just acknowledge that taking part in our practice tonight is an important step toward that resolution. As we do our mental puja, you could also make the intentions that the energies from that puja goes towards somebody in need. Someone close to you who can use some divine energy or guidance. And then slowly bringing the palms of your hands together at your heart center. Let's open our practice tonight by chanting Om 3 times. Inhale. Om. Inhale and exhale. Slowly open your eyes and just take a moment and feel the effects of this opening meditation. So we're going to begin with an asana for the root chakra, and we're going to slowly move our way up. For chakra number 7, that will actually be our meditation, which is very typical for a yin yoga class, is to end with a seated meditation. And something I'm going to invite you to do as we're in each of our asana postures is I'm going to share with you the Bij mantra, the seed mantra for that chakra. And I invite you, while you're in the posture, to mentally, silently chant the mantra with each inhalation and exhalation. So I invite you now to come to standing. And we're going to begin with mountain pose, Tadasana. So putting your feet about hip width apart, toes pointing forward, slight bend to the knees. You can lift all 10 toes and bring them down, little toes to big toes, just to reestablish that arch. Roll the shoulders back, palms forward. Just finding some spot on the wall to focus your gaze, to help you balance. And we're just going to do a little bit of grounding and centering, very appropriate to chakra number 1. And so when we go into our next pose, which will be standing forward fold, as we go into it, I invite you with each inhalation and exhalation to mentally repeat the Bij mantra Lam. So inhaling Lam and exhaling Lam. So bringing the palms of your hands to heart center. Inhale, raising your arms, slight back bend. Exhale, swan diving down, bringing your hands to your elbows. Breathing, repeating the mantra Lam. And just letting gravity bring you deeper and deeper into this pose. Being a yin process, we're going to hold this for a while. Stretching the connective tissues and muscles. But just following your breath and your body. And you can hold this particular position if that's comfortable for you, or if you would like a little bit more of a stretch, bringing your fingers to the mat. But again, just going as far as body and breath allows. And then as you inhale, coming up slowly. Bringing the spine straight as if you're stacking one vertebra at a time. Rolling the shoulders back, keeping the knees slightly bent. Once again, resuming mountain pose. Bringing the palms of your hands together at heart center. And inhale, raising them overhead. Again, just a slight back bend. Just a nice little counter pose. And then exhale, bringing your hands back to heart center. And just taking a couple of breaths. And just feeling the effects of the pose and the mantra. And then I invite you to come back to sitting. So just taking a couple of breaths in simple sitting. Just taking a moment to prepare as we move up the ladder of the chakras. And then bringing the soles of the feet together in cobbler's pose. Starting out with a straight back. We're now moving to the second chakra located in the lower abdomen, just behind the pubic bone. As we inhale and exhale, I invite you to mentally repeat the mantra VAM. Inhaling VAM. And then exhaling VAM, sliding the hands forward, keeping the back relatively straight. Breathing and chanting. Again, coming as far forward as breath and body allows. But listening to your body, that's an important part of the meditation. If you're finding that you're having discomfort, you can slide your feet forward. That'll relieve any discomfort in the lower back. And then inhaling, pressing up slowly. Coming back into cobblers. Taking a couple of breaths. Again, just feeling the effects of the pose combined with the mantra. So I invite you to come back to simple sitting. We're going to do just a little transitional pose. I want to be able to move the spine in all directions. So we're doing forward bending, backward bending. We're going to be doing a twist in a little bit. And I want to get a lateral fold in there. And that's going to help us transition up to chakra number 3, located between the navel and the solar plexus. Inhale, raising your right hand. Exhale, bringing the hand to the mat. You can also let the hand sit on its fingers. Inhale, windmilling the left arm around, keeping the shoulder back, keeping both sits bones in place, and breathing. And if you'd like, you can begin silently chanting the Bij mantra, Ram. Inhaling Ram, and exhaling Ram. And inhale, pressing up. Taking a couple of breaths in simple sitting. And inhale, raising the left hand. Exhale, bringing it to the mat. Inhale, windmilling that right arm around again keeping the shoulders back, keeping the sits bones in place, and breathing. And continuing with the Ram mantra. And inhale, pressing back up, coming back to simple sitting. Taking a couple of breaths. And now we're going to work more properly in chakra number 3. So I'm going to invite you to transition onto your back, whichever way that's safest for you to do. Keeping your feet flat on the mat, knees bent, bringing your arms out in a T position. Just taking a moment to get comfortable. And continuing with that Ram mantra. Just moving the hips a little bit to the left. And then inhale. Exhale, letting the knees drop to the side to a reclined twist. Turning the head so you're looking to the left direction, breathing. And again, silently repeating Ram as we inhale and exhale. And then inhale, exhale, turning the head upwards so you're straight again, bringing the knees up toward the ceiling, taking a couple of breaths. Pelvis centered. And then moving the hips slightly to the right. And inhale. And exhale, letting the hips drop to the left. Turning the head to the right. An adaptation to this pose, if you do in the future, if it feels right, is you could have some folded blankets or some cushions where your knees are landing if you need that support. And inhale, raising the knees, turning the head back to center, centering the hips, taking a couple of breaths. And while we're on our backs, we're going to move to the next posture, which is for the heart chakra. And there's some choices of what we're going to do. I'm going to grab a blanket. You could also use a flat cushion. But folding the blanket, so it's going to give you some support behind the chest and the shoulders. But laying with the blanket behind the chest and shoulders, just to open up that heart center. If there's some discomfort with the neck, you can also have another little cushion behind. But having the feet about hip width apart, toes dropping to opposite directions, hands a comfortable distance from the body. Breathing in reclined and supported fish pose, asana. And repeating to yourself as you inhale and exhale the mantra, Yam. Inhaling Yam. And exhaling Yam. If you'd like a little bit more of a challenge, you can turn your palms toward the mat, slide the elbows back to a more traditional fish pose, continuing to breathe and chant. And then inhale and exhale, slowly come back, sliding the hands forward if you were doing more advanced position. but removing the support from under the back. Then just resting and taking a few breaths in Shavasana. Feeling the effects of the practice. And then inhale, bending the right leg, bringing the foot flat to the mat. Inhale, exhale, crossing your right arm across the chest. And then just rolling over and transitioning onto your stomach. And bringing your chin to the mat. Hands flat by the shoulders, palms on the floor. We're now going to move to the throat chakra. And our mantra will be hum. So inhaling hum and exhaling hum. So we inhale, sliding the forearms forward, coming up to about navel level, keeping the upper spine straight, including the neck. Breathing, chanting hum. Again, if there's discomfort with the lower back, you can separate the feet, or you can slide the forearms forward. But just breathing and exploring the pose and the mantra. And then inhale, exhale, sliding the hands back, bringing the chin to the mat. Just resting for a moment, taking a couple of breaths. We will now move up to the third eye chakra, Agnya chakra. And the mantra that we'll repeat as we inhale and exhale is Om. So inhaling Om, exhaling Om. So inhale and exhale, pressing up, bending the knees. Bringing the forehead to the mat. Finding Balasana or child's pose. Focusing on the mantra and the breath. Typically in yin yoga, in child's pose, the knees are together. But if there's discomfort, you're always welcome to separate the knees and come into a more traditional child's pose. And then inhale, exhale, bringing the hands back, engaging the arms, coming into tabletop. And just doing some cat-cow stretches, nice and slow. Just to neutralize the spine and prepare for our meditation. Good. And then transitioning to seated, whichever way is safest for you to do that. Finding that position where your back is straight. Cushion under the hips may help with that. If it would feel better to do the meditation from a chair, that would be fine. Or if you'd like, you can also come back on your back and do the meditation in Shavasana as well. But I invite you to breathe deeply and close your eyes. And first, just take some breaths. Feel the effects of the sequence. And so, while you sit with your eyes closed and breathing, I invite you to let your imagination transport you somewhere that feels good. It can be a comfy, cozy room in your house or somewhere that you've lived in the past. It can be somewhere in nature, somewhere in a forest or in a park. But just let yourself go there. Let yourself imagine that you're seated upon the ground or the floor or a comfy chair. And just let yourself be in this safe, comfortable, this place where you can feel truly relaxed. So as you rest and meditate in this place of your choosing, I invite you to focus your breath and your attention now to the crown of the head. And as you breathe, I invite you to envision there a bright, white, sparkling lotus of 1,000 petals. And from that lotus, feel a current of warm, divine, conscious energy entering through your crown and coming down slowly, filling you from the top to the bottom. So as you feel that energy coming to the center of your head, I invite you to take a deep and clearing breath. And in the center of your forehead, envisioning a dark blue triangle surrounded by golden light. And letting those energies flow down further. Kind of flowing down like a thick syrup. Till finally you become aware of your throat region and your lower jaw and your shoulders and arms. And taking a deep and clearing breath and visualizing there a bright white sphere made up of tiny colored dots, every color imaginable blending into white light. And feeling that divine energy flowing down further and further, very slowly, past your shoulders, into your upper chest, and finally filling your chest cavity and your heart center, and taking a deep and clearing breath, and there envisioning a light blue, almost gray, six-pointed star. As the divine energy slowly comes down further into your upper abdomen, you once again take a deep and clearing breath. And there you envision a fiery red inverted triangle in this chakra center. And as the energy flows down further and further slowly, now filling the bowl of the pelvis, taking another deep and clearing breath. And there you see a silvery crescent moon in the night sky, whose light is being reflected upon a dark, still ocean. And finally, you feel that energy flowing slowly into your hips and into the upper legs and your knees and your calves and ankles and feet and toes. And now taking a deep and clearing breath and focusing on the base of the spine. And there you envision a golden, heavy, dense cube. Now I invite you now to take another deep and clearing breath and bring your awareness now back to your heart center. Breathing into your heart center and letting your awareness return to that safe space where you began the meditation. And as you meditate in that place, something begins to materialize in front of you. It is the divine in feminine form. You see before you the presence of Ma Kali Kula, the goddess whose name means fellowship or family. She is four-armed with three eyes. She is seated on 10 skulls, positioned around a corpse. On her left side, her two hands show two mudras. Her palm is facing you with her fingers pointing up in the gesture of dispelling fear. And her other left hand, the palm is forward and her fingers are pointing down in a gesture of giving boons. On her right side, she holds a book of knowledge and a rosary or mala of meditation. And although in some ways she may appear somewhat frightening, you look upon her face and you see a comforting motherly or grandmotherly expression upon her face. And likewise, you feel her nurturing energy. And as you look down, you see before you a small brass plate that has objects on it for doing a puja to the Divine Mother. There's a pot of water with a spoon. A ghee lamp is burning. There's an incense holder, a small bottle of perfume, some fruit, and some flowers. And you take this time to honor the Divine Mother, both externally and internally as well. You take the spoon from the water pot and placing some water in your hands. You rub your hands together, cleaning them. And with your right hand, you anoint with some of the water your third eye and your heart center. And then dipping the spoon in again, sprinkling a little water around your small plate altar to cleanse the space. You take up the ghee lamp and you circle it 3 times before the Divine Mother, and she smiles with approval. And you place the lamp back on the altar. And you take some incense and light it from the lamp with your right hand. And you circle it 3 times, honoring the Divine Mother with incense, which smells very pleasant. And then placing it in the holder. Taking the spoon from the water pot and sprinkling a little more water just to cool the atmosphere. You then take up a piece of fruit with your right hand and you circle it 3 times. And then you place it at the Divine Mother's feet. And again, you see her smiling. You take up the bottle of perfume oil and put a little on your right middle finger. And you anoint the feet of the Divine Mother, and then your own third eye. And finally, you take up a handful of flowers and you lay them at the Divine Mother's feet. And then you sit comfortably, meditating upon the form of the Divine Mother Kula. And as we chant her mantra, just allow the mantra to take your consciousness where it needs to be at this moment. Om Krim Kulaya Namah. 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 Feel the energies of the mantra surrounding you. And just find yourself resting in a place of stillness and a place of silence. And as you continue breathing, allow yourself to just be aware of thoughts or feelings or memories or mental pictures. Just let whatever comes manifest and fade away, and just silently witness these things from a safe, detached distance. I invite you now to take a deep and clearing breath, letting go of the meditation and letting your awareness come back to your surroundings. Sound of my voice and the bell. Any sounds in your particular space as well. Being aware of the sensation of your body, sitting upon the mat, temperature of the air on your skin, slowly moving your fingers and toes, your hands and feet, your arms and legs. Slowly bringing the palms of your hands together at your heart center, keeping your eyes closed. Listening to our benediction. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thanking the Divine Mother for her presence, knowing she's with you always. Giving gratitude to yourself for taking part in this practice tonight. Slowly opening your eyes. And namaste. And thank you so much for joining me this evening. Thank you for the birthday greetings. Have a wonderful night and a wonderful day ahead. I look forward to you joining me on Friday for our Kriya practice. Blessings always. Namaste. Jai Mata Di. And good night.